Kingdom men, it's attractive to say sorry. Hi everyone, it's Maria Maumela. Thank you for joining me. Can the men put themselves in the woman's shoe? Here you are being told by the Lord that you should submit to your husband. How would you feel having to submit to someone who doesn't even know how to say sorry? Like someone who doesn't know how to apologize is like they appear arrogant, they appear prideful. There's nothing attractive about that. It's actually very discouraging. As a woman, part of being submissive is also being able to just say sorry. It actually it works both ways. But I feel like with the submission, it's like more is required from the woman. But then, like for the men, like you need to know also how to play your part. Like when you're wrong, you need to say, look, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was wrong and you were right. Or I'm sorry. It was the wrong decision that I made. I mean, here is a person whose leadership you're supposed to submit under. And yet you bring in suggestion. He's crushing them left, right, and center. And then when he makes a mistake and he realizes he should have listened to you, he doesn't even have the decency to say, look, sorry. I misinterpreted I misinterpreted the situation, or I didn't see this coming. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Like let us work together in making the relationship work, in making the marriage work, okay? So I want to tell the story. I've told the story before, but I'd like to tell it again. So I was dating this guy. So it's amazing how different relationships bring different sides of you. But this one was a very different relationship because, like, in most of the relationships that I've had, like, we've never had an argument problem. Like, I've always gotten guys I could actually get along with and people who were not into arguing. Like, we just spoke things through. This arguing and throwing punches. I mean, like, some people really know how to argue. They'll argue and even hit below the belt. The things you confide in to them are the very things they're going to throw in your face. Okay, but now here I was in this new relationship with this guy, and but like in our arguing, he was not extreme. Like he never hit below the belt, but for whatever reason, when I was with this guy, we would fight. Like we would argue. Like an argument would like start from nowhere. Like it was weird, and I just somehow grew accustomed to this thing. Like, well, look, like me and this guy argue a lot. So one day I was with him and then we were just talking, everything was fine. And the next thing we started to argue. And that's the thing. I can't even remember a single thing that we actually argued about. That's how you know things we were arguing about petty things. Now, as we were arguing, he said, oh, well, okay, we were arguing. I think this man had come to realize that our relationship was just now mainly arguing and he wanted to bring an end to this. So one day, as we were arguing, like, you know how an argument starts? One person will raise their voice and another one will now hit at a four, another one will hit a six, another one will hit a 10, you know, until everything just gets blown out of proportion. Now, when he saw us escalating, he was quiet, and there I was, like talking alone. And then he was like, Maria, Maria, Maria. And I'm looking at him like, what other point is he gonna make now? And it's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. I felt, yeah, like I felt so disempowered. There was just no reason to fight, no reason to argue anymore. Much was forgiven in that instant. Like for him, he did not just ask for forgiveness, he even told me that I was right. Like I was touched. And then um Several days later, we were at it again. The argument started, and then it was starting to escalate. He caught himself as in that in that what escalation mode, and he just calmed himself down. There I was talking alone, and then he was like, Maria, look. He was calm, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm wrong and you are right. At that time I knew, like, I could marry this man, like this, I can see potential in this man, like, So one day I was alone at home, and then I was just busy with whatever I was busy with. And then it hit me. I just remembered the argument, the last argument we had. And I realized I was on the wrong and he was right. Oh, guys, like, can you imagine, like, when he was saying, I am wrong, you are right? I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. I understand. Like, whew, I felt like a fool. I felt so bad. I felt like a deflated balloon. I felt so, so bad. And I'm like, why did he do this? How could he do this? Like, why didn't he just stand up for himself and tell me I'm wrong? And I realized that he was just trying to make peace between us, and it was something for me to learn. And I'm like, okay, that's how he plays his game. We'll see. And then one day we were at it again. So as the argument began to escalate, I caught myself about to lose it, and I literally had to calm myself down. When I was calm, it was then that I could say his name. Let's call him let's call him Tim. I was like, Tim, it's okay. Like, oh, I'm wrong and you are right. And I remember him like looking at me, like, I'm like, I'm very sorry. Like, I'm so, so sorry. I'm wrong and you are right. And for a while, he looked at me, and then that was the end of it. A few days later, what do you know? We were at it again. I caught myself again. I calmed myself down, and I'm like, Tim, I am wrong and you are right. Like, I meant it. It was not like I am wrong, you are right. No, it was like I meant it, like, look, I'm so sorry, I'm wrong. I don't know what was I thinking. Like, I'm so sorry, you're right. Like, my bad. And then he paused. And I remember he looked at me, it's like, then he understood that I was actually mimicking him. And he was like, oh wow, Puleng. He used to call me by my first name. He was like, Puleng, wow, you have grown. You have grown. And I was like, okay, I learned it from you. So I learned that. So it's amazing how different relationships can make us better. Okay. But then again, it would depend on kind of relationship that is. I mean, if we are in relationships that are ungodly, doing ungodly things, then we cannot really speak of them being beneficial to us, right? Yeah. But like I have remembered that, and I have kept that lesson with me. Like decades later, I still remember the lesson that I learned from that man. So I just wanted to encourage the kingdom men, like, remember that this woman has to submit under you. The least you can do is to learn to say sorry, and stop making it a big deal just to say sorry. It's not like your wisdom tooth is being pulled out. Like, you just have to learn to, like, use your own personality to apologize. Like figure a way that works for you. Stop making it more of a big deal than it really is. You can just say, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really missed the mark here. What was I thinking? Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Like, you need to find your own rhythm and find a way that works for you. If you're a person that clowns a lot, that jokes around a lot, it will be easier for you to be like you'll find a way. But either way, you have to say the words "I'm sorry." You have to say, to verbally say. Some men would rather go get flowers, go get gifts. You can do all of that, but at the end of the day, you have to say the words, I am sorry. So I hope that this message was a blessing. I'm speaking on behalf of the women and your kingdom. Your kingdom. This is for both married and unmarried men. Okay, like you, it's a beautiful thing to learn to say sorry to your partner. So thank you. God bless.